All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk Demeter. I've been having surprisingly a lot of fun actually trying to figure this god out. I'm not gonna lie, I went in with some pretty low expectations, considering some of the things that this god does or has. I'm like, wow, this thing seems busted. This thing doesn't seem very good, etc. Just on the surface. But the more I play her, the more I'm like, actually, no, there's a pretty strong theme. There's a pretty strong way to play this god, and I think bugs notwithstanding, I think you can probably get a lot out of her. So I'm going to show you guys a bit of a play style with Demeter that I think is, if you have the map for it, is incredibly powerful, and is probably the best way to play. And then following this one up, I might show off a little bit of a more stock standard, if you don't have the map, another option that, you know, might be valid. So we'll go through this game first. I'm against Jack 90. He's a 2000 plus rated Uranus player, and a very, very solid player indeed. He's got some great micro and game sense. So he's very, very strong. So the basic premise here, I think, with Demeter is we don't really want to do anything. Which sounds crazy. Like what is this? What is this idea? I don't want to do anything. I don't want to build military. I want to boom. I want to build buildings. I want to build my my werewolf, and I want to get away without having to invest into units. Like Zeus is infantry focused. Hades is archer focused. Poseidon is cavalry focused. We don't have any of that stuff as our focus as Demeter. So why would we be trying to force something? I mean, it's better to just play that other god, right? So the thing that she does have is Pan. She has Pan. None of the other Greek gods have Pan. So we need to figure out how to use Pan, because this is the thing that she can do, which the other Greek gods can't. And so what comes with Pan? Well, obviously the Lawan. I know I'm going to get crap for how I say that now. I'm pretty sure that's the Greek pronunciation. The Lawan is the unit that we want to use. It is a free myth unit, first and foremost. It is a villager. Its stats are without question good. I've been seeing people say that this unit is weak, and I'm like, no. The HP is low, the speed is low, the DPS is there. And then when you get the upgrade, the DPS is really there, and then the speed gets fixed. Plus, it's still a villager. So, no, this unit is without question strong, and definitely worth going into. So, my plan here against my opponent here, I was expecting to see the weasels, but Jack obliged me a little bit, I think, and he's gone Mina Katatomi. I think the weasels are going to be your tricky thing to deal with. Considering you have to get your entirety of your base walled up really, really quickly, and you're not going to be able to go straight into the town center. Jack does manage to get in here and trap my villager in the thing, and I thought, I'll just turn around and shank it, and he drops the solar shield, so I'm going to drop a villager here. It's not the end of the world. I mean, this is a god power to kill off a villager, and then I also kill off his kitsune, so I'm like... Every time I lose a villager, I'm upset, but I'm not super upset about it. It's fine. So we go up through Pan. You'll notice that I did build my temple here. I was thinking, I put it in the video, that building the temple on a corner of the town center is going to be really, really nice. Maybe over here, so I can lock off my base. But I think the more I'm playing, the more I'm feeling like it really just depends on where the gold mine is. And in this game, my gold mine... my gold mine here, I'm looking to surround it, basically. I mean, I could put it up onto the top, but there's a straggler tree here blocking this in, and I don't want to put it on the top of my town center. So I go with this one. It's fine. I'm going to be able to have my cows on my town center here, affecting my temple, and then I'm going to be able to start getting favor in. I go for my town center, and I do forget that this technology exists, and I don't get my 5 favor for it. I think the wolf kind of distracted me to some degree. I'll make my excuses. It's not the end of the world. this is a technology that's well worth grabbing, super duper strong. But I just, this position is just too good for me as my Lawan does turn. I'm not, look, okay, this isn't good. I don't want my Lawan to turn here. This is obviously bad. This is a good thing that that Jack's done. He's managed to convert this. However, it's still a unit. This is like, it's still it's not useless. Like, this guy's got 20 damage and he's got a bonus versus cavalry. So he's doing 30 damage to the cavalry. So yeah, this guy is going to be, everybody else gets a myth unit, right? That you can use to defend yourself. So now I've just got a unit that I can use to defend myself for a while, right? I'm still going to be going for these Lawan. I want to build them. I want these to be my main source of defense. If they get some resources in, great. If they get some damage in onto my opponent, great. At some point, I'm going to be grabbing my technology, and then I'm going to be turning my werewolves back into villages, and they're going to start gathering for me. It's not the end of the world. That's my take. So it's fine to have these guys. Coming over here, I've got the reason why this town center is so good, by the way, I was planning on making a video at some point about a guide on how to take a second town center, when not to, but it's quite obvious here how good this is. I got a back gold mine, I got back food, I got 2 forests protecting this, so I can easily just come in and wall this up. Jack is doing a really, really good job of denying this, and he's got a forward Miko. This is really smart from him, but I got a Lawan here, and this guy literally counters these Naginata riders. If these were samurai, I might be a little bit more scared. The samurai obviously a little bit slower, but yeah. I also got Staff of Dionysus in, which is going to help out even more with the defensive players. The villagers will just come back up to full HP. It also does affect the Lawan villager as well, which is huge. And this time I'm going to just pop in front. Now, he is getting Bushido for this, but I think the nerfs to Japan have meant that now I'm just a tiny bit less scared of taking some early game fights versus Japan, because it takes just that little bit longer to turn into the Bushido. And you can see he's going to micro here, and I shouldn't be able to kill any of these, but I'm just giving myself time to get set up. You can see I got the walls over here. I got the villagers on the temple. I'm going to be spamming out Lawan. I'm effectively building myself a defense for his cavalry without building military. I think this is super important. Now, of course, the natural response to this sort of a playstyle will be to build heroes and send them in. So if you're playing against something like a Norse god who's got Hestia, or maybe a Greek god who's got the Jason, it's a little bit more risky to go for this, so you have to do something maybe a touch different. But against Japan, on Numusha, not really a raider. Bushi, not really a raider. You're kind of fine to do this, so long as you've got the defensive map in play, as he's going to be still trying to pick off my villages. And you can see how strong the Lawan is. This is a 3 population cavalry unit, super strong, and I'm like, just come in, defend, no worries. So yeah, this is my thought process here. I've also got the Arcadian Meadow. If things get really, really bad here, I'm going to be able to drop this down and protect a resource. So if I have exposed chickens or exposed hunt and he manages to get in onto it. So for example, maybe I'll pause here. Let's just say, for example, the deer weren't here, but instead were here. Then I might just say, no worries, the town center is still good. I'll just drop Arcadian Meadow on this side, eat my food, and then I'll defend up my main base, and we'll just be playing like this. So there are some angles for maybe some suboptimal positions to go for, but yeah, we're still going in for the Lawan. You can see I've got the food to actually grab my upgrade, which would turn this Lawan back into a villager, but at the moment, it's not worth it to do that. I'm only going to be getting 1 food back, or maybe 1.25 food back a second. So it's going to take like 300, 250 seconds to get the food back for the Lawan. I'm not in that much of a rush. I don't care. And you can see that already. Where are my guys? I've already got myself out 3 of these bad boys, and we're good to go. So Jack's just going to keep on raiding me. I'm trying to get to the next age. The next age comes with it Hestia. I've been seeing a lot of players playing with Demeter going Aphrodite, because they're like, I don't get a heroic age myth unit, right? If I go for Hestia. And my take is here that as more raids coming in, and there's my Arcadian Meadow. My take is it doesn't matter that I don't get a heroic age myth unit. I do. If I really want to go into the Dryad, I can. And I do think the Dryad is actually quite strong with the upgrade. Yet it's difficult to use. It's like quality of life difficult to use. I do think this thing's strong. But the fact of the matter is Hestia is without question the strongest late game god in the game because of Faded Arrows and Gracious Hospitality. Those two upgrades are just way too strong to pass up. The Hestia's Hearth as well gives you that ability to play for the late game. And you'll see in the Heroic Age the tactic, so to speak, for this one, which is effectively I can lock off my town center, I can drop Hestia's Hearth behind my town center, and then all of a sudden this position is unattackable. As he's going to charge in, as Communal Hearth to come down, and now I'm going to start stealing his Samurai, and I can literally just sit here, and he's just never going to be able to break in. He does charge in to attack me over onto this side. I have Werewolves here, so I'm like, this is perfectly fine for me to defend, and he gets some kills, but again, I'm 2 TC, he's 1 TC, it's fine. This is not really an issue. I will say, if he went 2 TC here, this would be a very different situation. I wouldn't be getting attacked this hard because he'd be having to be getting his units out, and I wouldn't have taken nearly as much damage. I probably would have been Heroic Age much sooner, and I would have probably been even looking to go straight to the Mythic Age, which is, again, I think this is the general game plan for this god is let's just play a defense, right? So now my werewolves, I've got quite a few of them converted, 5 of them. Now if I get my Lawan upgrade, the Predatory Instinct, I'm going to get 5 more villagers back, which means I'm going to be able to pay off the Lawan upgrade really, really quickly. So you see the thought process here is I'm not too concerned about 1 or 2 Lawan, but once all of them get converted because he goes for a big raid, I got huge value in defending that raid and pushing the enemy units back because I didn't have to get watchtowers. I didn't have to worry about it, right? Now it's worth it to get the upgrade in. Now it's worth it to get these guys back to work. And I'm still using these guys in my army as well because, I mean, they're strong. Sure, they've got 420 HP. It's 24 hack damage a second in the Heroic Age. It's a strong myth unit without question. And then it gets even stronger with the upgrade, right? And they dominate these cavalry. It's so good. I really like the design of this unit in the fact that there's no other myth units that have got bonus damage versus a specific unit. So it's like cavalry they're just not a thing versus this Lawan. He does have his On the Musha, which, I mean, he did a charged up power attack. Barely did half the HP in 2 shots, so they can probably tank about 3 of those special attacks until things go south. I will say one gigantic weakness of the Lawan is when they're in villager form, they have the myth unit tag. So if a unit comes in, like a Jason, like On the Musha, and slaps your villager form Lawan, then it will just get killed, which is, I mean, that's not fun. I do think that they should fix that. But in this specific map, look at this. These Lawan now are going back up to full HP because I've got myself that Staff of Dionysus tech. So this does mean that I don't need to grab this tech. Divine Labor. What's it called? Yeah, I got it right. Let's go. That normally Divine Labor is your way to get the werewolves back up to full HP. It's very expensive in my opinion. I think it should be buffed cost-wise and research-wise because I think it's incredibly expensive. But in this sense, in this game here, I don't have to worry about it because I've got that relic, which is awesome. Now, I make a gigantic mistake here. I forgot that I'm playing against a 1 town center player. I forgot that I'm effectively 3 town centers with the Lawan getting spammed out. Why am I in the middle of the map? I should not be in the middle of the map. Don't ask me the question. I don't have a good answer for this. I basically feel like I'm invincible here because I've got the Lawan, but he drops the Thunderburst, and yeah, Thunderburst versus Toxotes is just simply put incredibly strong. All my Toxotes now are half HP. I'm dropping the Wither to try and slow down the enemy army so I can run away. But yeah, this is not an easy fight for me to take. And I will say before this fight happened, if I just sat behind my walls, sat back here and just enjoyed this, I got gold everywhere, right? And was not in the middle of the map, I think I win this game at like 18 minutes. I don't think there's anything that Jack could do here to win this game. So I basically just gave him back a chance in this game. It's super stupid, but you make mistakes, you live and learn. I have to refresh myself in a way. But yeah, now we have to do some tricks. I'm trying to sneak over here and grab this berry bush because I don't want to go into farms, even though I've got nearly 800 wood, and Demeter does have basically half-priced farms. That's technically what you can think of her unique bonuses. She gets half-price farms, which is obviously awesome. So I only need to build like 15 or something, maybe 10, somewhere in between those numbers. But yeah, now because I still got gold, I can just mass back up an army and we're okay. The next thing I'm worried about is obviously the Mythic Age, which is going to be a problem, and there's a lot of things I have to play around. But nonetheless, that's how the cookie crumbles. This guy at the moment, Icarus, I think he's insane. He's one of the main power points for the heroic age of Demeter, and another reason why I almost don't need Aphrodite at all, because he's such a strong heroic age myth unit. Of course, my opponent here as well, he's going Naginata Riders, Samurai. He can't actually do damage to Icarus, and Icarus is going to be able to just lob those bombs in and get the damage done. I'm realizing right now that I've not really done this correctly. I need to be a little bit more specific with my farm placement. I can put 2 villages on a farm. I overbuilt them. How many do I have? I got 19 farms. So I'm not even using the bonus here. What am I doing? 19 farms is nearly 40 villages on food. It's nearly 40 villages on food. Silly. But yeah. So, okay. So this is... Well, okay, so basically right now I've just been explaining what I'm doing. But I think the big thing is, why am I playing like this? And the main reason is, with Hestia comes this technology and obviously this technology. And those two technologies combined for Demeter to have the strongest late game in the game. In my opinion. I haven't fully confirm this. It could be incorrect. There could be maybe like a Shenong that's still stronger. There could be an Isis that maybe can compete in the late game now with the buffed elephants and things like that. But on paper, it feels like, you know, an extra 30 plus population plus Plentyvolt plus a Greek army is going to be really, really tough. So yeah, I'm literally just like, okay, if I go 2 TC plus spam Lawan, there's no way that I'm going to get out-ecoed. And there's no way that I'm going to be... I'm not going to get out-ecoed, which means that I should be able to just play defense against any sort of mass boom. So my opponent goes for a mass boom. I should be completely fine. The only thing I'm worried about is timing attacks that come in and kill me. So right now I've been hit by 1 timing attack, plus raids. I don't think raids are going to be ever an option against Demeter because of the Lawan, unless you've got... like I said, Hestia or some sort of specific hero unit that's quick. But yeah, booming's not an option. Timing attacks are the only thing. So the game plan here, as I'm attacking, I'm scared of this Mythic Age to come through. So I'm trying to get a fight. If the Mythic Age hits, I'm like trying to get a fight out somewhere in the middle so I have some time to rebuild. But my gold mines are expiring, and I'm like, okay, I know there's a Mythic Age coming. Let me get my fortress up on the gold mine so that I have some defense here. And at this point, unfortunately, I think Jack did this on purpose. He pulled a unit back. He separated my hoplites from my Toxotes, and I kind of just butchered the whole situation here. I wasn't watching. I was doing something else. I can't remember what. But I pulled my hoplites away, and life got really, really bad. I then selected my monkeys and my hoplites and clicked, and they decided they wanted to merge together before running away. And then I got even more out of position. So all my hoplites now are useless. And we have to start scooting backwards here. as he gets to the Mythic Age. My Toxotes, they're doing a good job without question here against everything. He drops his thing, and for the first time ever, I managed to dodge this one. Let's go. But yeah, we're still in trouble here. I got a garrison. Luckily, I have my communal hearth here, so he can't really push into this. The one thing I don't like about this god power is that I've got no idea what the range on it is. If I click this like this, I can see though. So this is a little trick. If you actually have it off cooldown, you can see the range of it. Even if you don't have the favor, you can just click the thing and you can see. So I would love it if I could see it just by clicking on it, but there's some tricks. Anyways, I push him back and we're okay here to continue in the game. It's relatively equal. I'm way in front on economy. You do have to excuse the villager population. It's not 100% accurate because I do have Lawan. So you have to take the... I've only got one, actually. I've only got one Lawan. So my villager population is very, very good. I'm very far in front on economy. I was going to say that when you go into this strategy and you do build all of the Lawan, when you get close to 100 villagers, it's time to convert those Lawan into werewolves and use them in your army. You don't want to leave your economy with like 10 Lawan or something, because that's going to be chewing up 20 population. So you've got to get rid of those and go back in. You just use them in your army. It's not getting rid of them. It's still value. Just get rid of, just replace them with villagers and then start looking for a different myth unit to be adding into your army, like a Colossus or a Hamadryad. At this point is probably valid. And I think in this specific game, in hindsight, going for Hamadryads probably would have been a really good idea, because I'm playing a game of retreating. So if I can use the Hamadryads behind my army and retreat into it, that's going to get a huge amount of damage onto him and we're good. Right? Okay, but anyways, next point here is I've now got myself my upgrade, which means that these town centers effectively have got fortified town centers on them. By default, this is plus 10 population, right? So they've already got fortified town centers. Then I'm going to grab fortified town centers. So now there's going to be plus 20 population for both of these town centers. Now I'm going to lock off this town center and I'm going to be starting a trade route. So we're literally just playing for the max late game. And the big problem here, okay, with the extra population that you get from Demeter is that you don't have the income to support 265 population with 100 villagers. You just don't. So you need plenty bolt and or a trade route. Now I think 60 trade caravans plus like maybe like 80 villages or something is enough to support your 265 population ish and spamming everything. Or 2 plenty bolts maybe with the gold mine still. So it's very, very possible to support all that population. So just be careful, be mindful that you do need to be making sure that you're continuously increasing your economy. The trade route is a must. It's not like waiting for your gold mines to expire to start the trade route with Demeter. It's get your trade going immediately type thing, especially once you get the 3rd town center. So yeah, he's... Nice little play here from Jack again. He manages to stop my fortress. I'm trying to expand onto this gold mine. I don't really have another gold mine to go to after this one, but there's plenty of gold left in it, and I can break this castle and just continue along. We will have Persephone. I do have the underworld invasion to come, but my opinion, I went Persephone here for vibes more so than anything. I don't think... If I go Pan Hestia... I don't think Persephone is a good idea. Maybe when they fix the technology, Persephone is going to be the must-go because the technology is insane. I'll just show you this one here. This technology reads that if I lose 5 units in a battle, hoplites, it's a 5 range on the technology from the tech file. If I lose 5 hoplites, which I will lose, like this, very quickly, then my Toxotes are now going to be doing 100% more damage, or DPS. 100% more DPS. Which is absolutely bonkers, right? So, Persephone will be a must-go when that technology is working. But even but without it, obviously Hephaestus is the best choice. But even without that technology, just having the fact that this population is in and playing this playstyle, we're totally fine to go through this. And the other thing here is, as long as I have Orpheus out, we're all good. Now I lose my Orpheus, and now the Raiju is annoying again, and I have to run back to my fortress, but we're good to go, so we'll just pull back. I now have this Siren in, and I can use that to deny the siege here. It's a bit of a tricky unit to use, unfortunately. Well, it's not tricky to use. Excuse me, I probably misspoke there, but it has very limited usages, the Siren. And I think the main usage, because of how good the hero situation is with Orpheus and the Toxotes, like that combination, because of how good that is, don't really need to worry about myth units so much with the Siren. But I do need to worry about siege. So it's an amazing unit to just deny siege pushing into your fortresses and things like that. So you can just, you're good to just defend forever, basically, with that unit. Anyways, I managed to defend here. You can see I'm trying to pump out everything. It was a big fight, both of us huge losses, but I'm still getting technologies in. I'm still pumping units out, and we're just going to be trying to get back up to full population. I managed to take his town center down over here as well. So at this point, we just need to move over here. And one thing is for certain, once Demeter gets to 4 town centers. Now, some civs get to 4 town centers, and it's a little bit tricky to win. But when Demeter gets to 4 town centers, she goes up to 300 total population, which is an absolutely insane amount. And yes, you do need to have 60 donkey caravans, 100 villages to support 4 town centers, full spammaging. But if you just don't fight and you just push yourself up to the 300 population, then yeah, you're good to go. Yeah, you're never gonna lose a fight at 300 pop. So yeah, that's a win condition for sure. If not just 3 town centers, fully upgraded hoplite Toxotes, or maybe some cavalry or something, I don't know, is another perfectly fine win condition as well. I wanted to touch on this technology. I didn't really get to use it in this game because the map was so good with the trees, and we didn't really see much of a use for it. But Thorned Walls is another incredible technology to use inside of this style. The idea is effectively I build a wall, and then I just repair it when my opponent comes to raid it. That's how the technology works. That's why it's so good, and that's why the top players see a technology like Thorn Walls and say, oh, that thing's bonkers. And it is. So if you are in that situation where your opponent is going for raiders, I don't need to go for watchtowers. I just grab Thorn Walls instead of watchtowers, and I just play repairing my wall defense, and I can play this don't build military in the classical age type idea. So we do get the win here. And it was a fun game. I was going to show you guys also this next game as well, which is against Cotta. Cotta is a raid heavy Odin player. He's been using this style for a while. I played him a bunch. He's like a 1500 to 1600, probably maybe a little bit higher than that on a good day. I did lose to him on the first game. I'm not going to show you the loss because I am vain like that. I was trying a pretty greedy werewolf strategy in the first game, and I learned from that it's not really viable versus Norse. So instead I go, this is my adaptation. So I failed, we adapt, and I'll show you how things are going to go here. So I'm going to speed through this early game because it is much of a muchness, but I want to point out the main things that I have to worry about when playing against Norse, because Norse is very different. Plus, plus this map isn't good for a 2TC game. Of course, I could probably go for a village center on a gold mine in the middle of the map, but I'm not gonna lie. I think village centers are really, really bad. They're not a competitive building, and the only way that they're ever going to be competitive is if the village center is training villagers at the same rate as a town center. That's the only way they're going to be competitive, in my opinion. So I would rather, and I'm gonna say this, I would rather the devs flip that unique bonus into villagers train at the same rate as a regular town center, get rid of the boosted HP and damage, because that's much of a muchness anyways. I think it goes up to like, it goes from 1200 HP up to like 13 or 1400 HP or something. It's like nothing. Like, even if it was the same HP as a town center, I'd still be like, no, I'm still building a town center. I don't care if I'm going for one, right? Okay, so anyways, I'm going to talk about this specific situation, right? What am I worried about? I'm worried about raiding cavalry and Hestia. My initial thought was, I'm not worried about raiding cavalry at all because I got the Lawan. Now, unfortunately, unless you've got an amazing map, the problem is forest fire completely opens up your base, and then you run out of safety, right? And then you also have to move your Lawan out of your base to go on to secondary hunt, and it just doesn't work all too well. So yeah, that's the take there. You have to go into military units first, but the fact of the matter is, once I get some dudes out, I'm not looking to win the game here. I'm not looking to go for a big all-in. I'm just looking to stabilize in the classical age, and then I'm going to take my advantage on my opponent, as I do manage to chase down this Hestia, and we'll just run back home. I'm kind of lucky. I feel lucky that he didn't actually kill me here. He is going in with Berserk, so Cotter just, I guess he's trying a different... He didn't want to go the same strategy again. I kind of wish he did. But Cotter's going in with Berserks because he's got the Hamask technology, which will give him bonus damage versus Myth units, which will allow him to take out the Lawan a little bit easier. But this upgrade, while it is nice against small amounts of Myth units, against the Lawan, there's too much DPS. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But anyways, he's going to charge in here, and I always think at the moment, I'm still trying to get used to it. But I'm feeling like I'm really not playing correctly with Arcadian and Meadow. I think I can just drop this on this position, and I don't even have to worry about this type of idea here of him attacking my forward gold mine. If I have a shitty forward gold mine as Demeter, just use Arcadian Meadow on it. I don't have to worry. But nonetheless, I'm gonna move over here, grab this food. I'm now starting to pump out my Lawan now that I have some units out, and I'm gonna look over here to defend this. Gonna get these walls up, get down the bottom. I'm not super worried if one of these Lawan gets turned into a werewolf. Like I said in the last game, it's perfectly fine for me to have one Lawan changing. It's not a big deal. Like I think some of the other top players, like if I lose, if one gets converted, it's like the end of the world because I'm no longer getting my economic boost. And it's like, no, I've got a military unit. It's nice, and I can always change it back later. So it's not the end of the world. But yeah, now we're on the wooden wall, and obviously the biggest problem here that I've got is I have two positions I need to defend, which makes life very, very tricky. Now, in hindsight, this is a disgusting usage of Arcadian Meadow, where I can, obviously he has a forest fire, so it's not going to be that useful. But if I use Arcadian Meadow on a wall, how is he going to break through it? He's not. He can never break through it. And obviously he's got forest fire, so he can go through it with this god, but Arcadian Meadow plus a wall on a really important position allows me to just say, okay, fantastic, that one's not a problem for the next 5 minutes or whatever it is. But instead, I'm dropping this on this position to protect my military barracks. I think I put it in a pretty average spot because the gold mine's technically still attackable here, but my barracks are going to be very safe, and it's going to be a little bit awkward for him to get in and attack this. Yeah, I think that there could be a little bit of work done with the way that the AI works on top of this. If I attack move on top of the Arcadian Meadow, I probably should auto move off of the Arcadian Meadow at the closest point. Start attacking. Do you know what I mean? But anyways, we're going to keep on spamming out the Lawan. I do have myself the Predatory Instinct pre-queued. I want to use these units as a military unit at some point here. So grabbing it is really, really good. I do have only one Lawan here, so there's no rush, which is why I'm going to continue to build the actual just villages for the moment. I've managed to prevent myself from taking any damage this time, so only really one wolf getting converted. So my economy is going to be stonking. And if we take a quick look at how many of these guys I've got 5. So take off 10. I'm in front by 6 villages, right? Which is nice. And these Lawan are amazing on the food. They're effectively, if I've got 4 of them, it's like I have 5 villagers on food, which is obviously really, really nice as well. This is also something that I think is really valid to do. Eating your herdables is perfectly fine. Of course, you want the herdables there. I don't want to eat them, but it is a perfectly valid strategy to eat your herdables. You're going to get extra herdables in later in the game. You get 3 pigs, you get 3 cows. It's going to be 6. If you can leave yourself 3 or 4 herdables so that you're going to be able to get back up to max favor for the Mythic Age, it's fine. But it's not the end of the world to lose your favor bonus. It just simply isn't. It's much more important to stay alive here with Hestia because you're going to win the late game anyways. Sorry, with Demeter, because you're going to win the late game anyways with Hestia. So, yeah, now Kotta realizing how much better I've defended myself. He's taken the foot off the gas. He's going to the next age. I've run out of food on the back, but I've got myself the Lawan, now the Alpha Lawan here. So I have myself a ridiculous siege unit, frontline unit, and a unit that's going to be able to sit outside my base and maybe eat the deer here or eat the berries over here. So I'm going to speed this one up again because this video is already getting a little bit long. I just wanted to show all this stuff off. So now we can pop in. And I think that for all intents and purposes, I'm in a winning position already. Like, I didn't take any damage from his early game attack. I got the economic advantage from getting the Cowan out. He hits the heroic age first. And the only thing that I'm really worried about right now is going to be a frost on top of my economy to slow me down a little bit while he takes some of the map. But yeah, him going heroic age allows me to attack. I know he just spent a bunch of resources. I've got the Lawan to move in if I really want to. If he wants to frost me, I'm going to be able to move forward and then help my units after the frost as an idea. So yeah. As this is the case over here, my army is actually better than his at the moment in terms of military resource value. So no problems here. And he does decide to drop frost, which is perfect. This is what I wanted. This way I'm going to be able to take advantage of my Lawan for the 45 seconds of the frost. And then I'm going to be able to bring them in and then hard win the fight with the boosted military. Okay, so the next thing about this unit, maybe I brought it up already. The next thing I love about this unit is using them as a military force is not all in. It's all in if you lose the fight, but of course if you lose the fight you've already lost the game, right? We don't want to be losing the fight. It's not all in because I can just turn them back into villages and I can start grabbing this food, or I can put them back over onto the gold mine. It's literally perfectly fine to do this type of thing, right? And then I see him having the hill fort over here and I say, okay, let me get these guys back in because it's a super siege weapon. Does 2 divine and 2 crush and 22 hack. And you can see the hill fort goes down relatively quickly here with this amount of werewolf domination, of alpha Lawan here. So yeah, it's a really, really strong unit. Nonetheless, we'll try and push through here and finish him off. And we do get this nice win. Well, actually, I mean the game goes on for a little bit longer, but yeah. I managed to basically get into a position that is, I can just sit back. And this is maybe the next part about this god that's quite important, is just be very well aware, very, very safe and solid in the knowledge that we don't need to end the game. I think that's probably one thing that most competitive players are, it's hard to do, right? It's hard to have that discipline. It's that I don't need to be like, I need to cut him off gold. I need to win in this moment. I need to go and attack. With Demeter, no, I just need to take a town center. I just need to get a hill fort down or a fortress down. I just need to make sure my army doesn't die. I just need to slowly expand my base and play that way. There's no rush with this god to win a game. Obviously, I'm playing against Odin. Odin has Ragnarok. Ragnarok is somewhat scary. I could go for Persephone as a pretty hard counter, I think, to Ragnarok, considering that I still have economy going and I have an army that can kill off his Ragnarok. But realistically speaking, so long as I get to Hestia and I get myself the I get myself the faded arrows out, where we're going to be really, really good. I'm really trying to make this hallowed woodlands work. The secret here with the hallowed woodlands with the dryad is to put him onto no attack stance, and then go and hide out on a gold mine. If your opponent doesn't notice it, you can erase an entire pack of villagers. There's a lot of ifs there. I think that maybe the trick is go and put it in a corner of the map, close to where he's mining, but out of line of sight. And then when a fight happens, then take the unit and then put it onto the gold mine, obviously with no attack. And your opponent is much less likely to see all that. I now am getting in close to my full villagers, and I say time for some all-ins. He goes for the Ragnarok as well. I'm like, well, I better just get as much value out of these wolves anyways. I drop the communal hearth. This communal hearth is in a terrible position. You want to put it behind your castles and things like that, no matter what. But he's going to charge in here, and I just have so much economy and so many resources secured on the map that there's just nothing that this Ragnarok is really going to be doing. It's a very desperation Ragnarok, and yeah, he's not going to be able to win the game here. Also, the Toxotes with this technology are amazing versus infantry, so it's even Ragnarok is even less of a threat. So we do manage to make Demeter work in this game. Of course, there's some rating differences, so take it with a grain of salt. But I do think that the idea of, against Norse, specifically Norse, you want to be going for anti-raiders first and foremost, which is hoplites, and then you go into your Lawan. Don't go into the Lawan straight away. It's like you treat the temple and you treat the Lawan as a little mini 2TC, and we can't do that straight away versus Norse. Otherwise, we just die. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you're enjoying Demeter. If you guys have got any questions about some strategies you think might work, or some suggestions about some things to try, let me know. If you got any concerns about Demeter, let me know as well in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.